Many of the companies that now define our lives, from Facebook to Uber, were born mere kilometers from each other in and around Silicon Valley, California. So it seems in startups, like in real estate, a lot hinges on location, 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 in terms of access to investors, but also in regulation and even geopolitics. So how well positioned is Taiwan to become a startup hub in its own right? To help us understand how those moving parts interlock and create a thriving startup ecosystem, we have with us Eric Fan in Taipei. He is the Deputy Director of the Taiwan Institute of Economic Research, an independent think tank in Taipei. And joining us from Chiang Mai, Thailand is Ellie David Rokah, the founder and CEO of StartupBlink, a Singapore-based research center focused on the global startup economy. Ellie, with strained economic relations between the two global superpowers, US and China, and Taiwan being positioned very close to China, do you feel that Taiwanese startups face unique challenges that other startups don't have to deal with?
I think everyone is facing challenges all over the world. Challenges are also an opportunity in the startup world, because startups are solving usually problems that are derived by challenges. So challenges would be celebrated in a way as a way to bring more startups into the world. And that's what founders are doing. They are looking at the changing reality on challenges, and they are capitalizing on those challenges exactly. I think Taiwan has a very interesting position. First of all, it should be said, the global startup ecosystem is focused only in the USA. There is only one winner currently. It might change in about 5 to 10 years and so on, but currently there is only one winner that is playing a global game. I do think China has the potential to be extremely powerful and even surpass the USA at one point, but it is still not playing a global game. It is very, very local in nature. However, to be honest, I don't know too much about Taiwan, but the thing that you share the same language with China and so on allows you to basically play on two fields. First of all, and the most important one, is the global field, that we have to be connected to the USA, to Australia, to Europe, and so on, to the global ecosystem that is basically the ecosystem that speaks English in a way. So that's part of the Singapore playbook of basically being connected to that. I need to research the topic, let's say, more in deep, but your position and the language, the shared languages to speak, also allows you to do a lot more with China as well. And I think it's a very interesting opportunity. If you do it correctly, you can enjoy both worlds. And I think it's a very interesting strategy that I really have to dive deep into. But it's actually more of an opportunity than a challenge in the case of Taiwan, from what I can see now.
Well, Eric, with Singapore being a strong local hub for startups and other Southeast Asian economies picking up momentum, how much are Taiwanese founders paying attention to that direction of development? And should they be paying more attention to Southeast Asia rather than United States or even China?
Absolutely. So if you're looking at the entire startup ecosystem, so first I would like to echo the Ali was said. In Taiwan, it's mainly the policy driven of this startup ecosystem. So we do have focus. For instance, in the past 1 or 2 years, we're focused in the national defense technology, drone, and so on and so forth, and telecommunication, of course. But the policy focus is one thing. It will not change the entire ecosystem, right? So when we talk about the entire ecosystem, we need to do business, right? So we keep thinking about where is the best place for our startup to land it globally. So Southeast Asia definitely is one of the places we need to consider. And also for like Japan and Korea and in other regions, of course. And Southeast Asia has population, so they have a bigger market. So we have to pick up different types of startups to soft land it in different areas. And that is the critical part for Taiwanese startups to go abroad because it's not everything can copy paste in the other regions, no matter technology sides or business sides.
Well, Ellie, what kind of macroeconomic factors and trends do you see as the biggest challenges or opportunities, as you say, for startup founders in the coming years?
I think a lot of things are happening, but when we're working with more than 100 governments in terms of developing ecosystems, I am less focused in the specific, let's say, trends of the world because I can never understand them. In a way, they keep on changing so fast that whoever is trying to guess where the market is going, in a way, in many cases is going to fail. The things have to be more organic in nature. And that's why I like more to see an ecosystem that is driven by founders and what they're figuring out than a government strategy and so on that is directing the ecosystem in one direction. I will say that connected to that, if we look at what Taiwan has the great opportunity is what it's already doing to win. And this is specifically what Eric has mentioned, the focus on the things that we do well. In our case, it's definitely hardware and IoT. Everything that has to do with atoms, with the physical reality. Taiwan is excelling in this. Also, according to our research, we're actually top 5 in the world in hardware and IoT. This is something that we should double down on. So Eric has mentioned also defense tech, which Taiwan has a special interest in, and it's focusing a lot on. It's also a segment of hardware and IoT. If you focus on what we're doing best, that's the best. There is only one ecosystem in the world that can be a generalist, and that's San Francisco. But other than San Francisco, everyone else has to focus on their unfair advantage. Our unfair advantage is definitely hardware.
Well, Eric, besides doubling down on hardware, as Ellie said, what kind of macro changes would you like to see that would strengthen the local startup scene and perhaps make it more of a driver of economic growth in Taiwan?
Well, I would totally agree with Ali just said. It's we have to double down on our strengths. So for most of the startups coming out from the industry like semiconductors and manufacturing industries, actually, like I said before, this kind of startup is not trying to disrupt the original industry. They're trying to help that industry to upgrade or increase the efficiency of that. And that not many people knows that. And because this kind of startup will not go to the demo shows, accelerator or something like that. From day one, they know where is the pain point and where are the customers is, and they're trying to serve the original industries. And that is the advantage that we should reveal that and to make more people know about it.
Well, Eric, the main feature of the Taiwan startup ecosystem is the proximity to chip giants like TSMC and silicon production in general. Do you think that this advantage can also hamper development of other trends among startups here in Taiwan? Are there downsides to basically locking the ecosystem, doubling down on hardware, as it were?
So if we look at the investment data, so most of this investment coming from the corporate or CVCs in Taiwan. And so the question is, will they be better or worse off for the innovation? And I would say it's an interesting issue that no matter the investors are corporates or VCs or even government, they are all aimed at innovation opportunities. So for the startup, they just need to focus on the what kind of solution they want to provide to solve the pain point of the market. So what we believe that, just like Ali just said, market is changing every day. So it's hard to predict that what happens in the future. But for the startups, they are flexible and quickly moving, so fit in the future market. So the difference is might be the industry will focus and to see how we look at the different industries of the startups. So it's kind of interesting to say that, for instance, like younger software companies in Taiwan, and it's tough anyway. So no matter what kind of investment sense in Taiwan. So it also brings that these original big companies like chip industry or manufacturing industries, they actually also benefit the other industry startups, especially during the AI era. They have to leverage the software and hardware solution to improve the productivity, and which is important for the coming year.
Well, AI is definitely shaking up the global startup ecosystem and also how ecosystems develop and compete with each other. So, Ellie, how do you think this new focus on AI will shake out in the future? Is that going to help ecosystems like we have in Taiwan, for example, challenge more established hubs, for example, the United States?
That's a good question. I think AI is going to be, it already influences all the verticals. So AI is interesting because usually we have, I don't know, defense tech, we have fintech and so on and so on. But AI is different because it simply influences absolutely everything. And it also influences hardware and IoT, of course, and defense tech as well. So yeah, the idea is just to hope that our founders are open enough to inject AI into everything that they do, prepare for the new world. And again, this is something that government initiatives cannot do. At the end of the day, sorry to repeat it again, but we are dependent on our founders. All the policies, well, our job as policy developers is to make the business conditions as robust and as good as can be. And I think that I've seen a few efforts by Taiwan Tech Arena, for example, with another government initiative to have more visas to bring the entrepreneurs from the outside and so on and so on. So our idea is just to make sure that the conditions to do business are at maximum, and then hope that our entrepreneurs are up to the game. Because the US people are up to the game, the US entrepreneurs, the UK entrepreneurs, the Swedish, the Estonians, the Israelis, they're all playing. And they're all taking massive risks. And I think that some of what we want to do is also to create a societal, cultural change that celebrates our entrepreneurs as the real heroes of our ecosystem, not only the football players or the sports or the K-pop people and so on, but also our entrepreneurs as well. If this happens, we will be fine. But we also have to understand much of it is not in our control. It's in our ability to prove to our most ambitious young people and also older people that are starting companies that Taiwan is the place to do business. And this is really the challenge of the economic developers. And they should focus on that mostly.
Plenty of interesting trends there to keep an eye on and some possible challenges. Let's hope that this new trend, this new force, this new boost that we see in startup ecosystems will benefit the economy and everyone in it. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for this conversation. Eric Fan of the Taiwan Institute of Economic Research and Ellie Rokah of StartupBlink. Thank you both for joining us on the program.